Good afternoon to all of you. Okay, so welcome on behalf of the Rugr. Um, we'll start explaining very briefly, very tersely what we are all about and how we want disrupting the whole space and then our unique value props and all. But before I start, I would like to start with a small bite of AV, a couple of minutes. I'll request the team to put on the screen and then probably you can start from there. And I'm happy to take any questions any point of time, so feel free to stop by wherever you want. Okay, so there's a bit of a technical glitch on the AV part. We'll cover that sort of a deck and then we'll go. So before we start, right, why Rugr, right? Why one more fintech? I think this is something I've been hearing for more than a quarter now, and it's worthwhile to reflect on that before we actually get into the bit of granularity on this. So this whole fintech revolution of India, obviously one of the big propellant has been the UPI since 2016, and then we know what UPI has created, what sort of impact it has created the whole economy of India and hence the global economy, right? So I'll not go much in that. It is like sort of a done and dusted, and probably India's biggest impact on whole of financial market of the rest of the world. So on the Rugr standpoint, the very formation of this organization or the very formation of this idea was fulcrum on a few fundamental facts. And when we actually zoomed in and double clicked on some of the propositions on the entire fintech, we wanted to ensure that whether the all ecosystem players are part of that ball game or not, or the revolution or not. And that is where the startling revelation came. We realized that the whole 1.4 plus billion population, where we have more than 70% population staying in the rural side of India, which we may call Bharat, are they really part of the mainstream financial revolution? And then obviously we had a little bit of contrast observation, which is probably there, but we discovered very systematically with data and then analytics and insight. And then we realized that yes, there is a divide. There is a divide between India and Bharat, right? It has not been fully blurred, though we are talking, and UPI has again been one of the key catalysts to remove that line. But the ecosystem has to be equally embracing all other digital dividends and other stuff, right? And that is why the Rugr exactly came in being. So in Rugr, we believe that we are the only fintech right now in the country who is not only on the capability stand, but on the mission, vision, and the value standpoint, we are deeply committed to the ecosystem where we actually blur this gap once for all. And that doesn't get limited only to payments, not only to banking, core banking, not only to lending. It encompasses everything. It encompasses data, it encompasses AI, ML, whatever the technology dividends we are reaping out of time and progression, we all sort of leverage and take it to the Bharat side of India, right, where almost 1 billion population, close to 1 billion population stay, and a bit of 80 trillion rupees of economy moves there, right? So that is largely untapped, and Rugr wants to solve this very strategically, and probably with the contrast and outlier in that aspect. So that is one of the key themes for behind the Rugr formation. Apart from that, our whole proposition, whatever we do at Rugr, right, be it technology and services, we do at a gain share methodology. Means we help our clients grow, we help our clients' business grow organically, and out of that growth, we take a small share of the pie to sustain and thrive so that you can serve more and more community to the mainstream of technology. These are the two fundamental distinction, I would say, in terms of our go-to-market strategy, our overall organization strategy, which makes us stand apart from the clutter. So I will go ahead. I'll try to cover very briefly, and again, help me to if you have any question, anytime. So we call Rugr as a last mile fintech of the country, and we do really mean this divide of India and Bharat, and hopefully that will be behind us as once for all, as we put an endeavor to that. So just to keep a very close sort of a stock of what actually bothers, what is missing right now, right? The main missing point right now in all conventional traditional offering of the fintech for this side of the economy, the cooperative side and the Bharat side of it, is that there is no player who does this comprehensively and end to end. We see a lot of point solutions, okay? Like, just to give an example, we have a partner who will onboard players, right? The digital KYC and so on and so forth. That partner has no preview that what if anything happens on the onboarding side, on the due diligence side, like he is more relying on the institution to direct and help screen, and that is not how we do it, right? We are maintaining multiple sanctions, multiple OFAC, and we own the outcome of it. Means we'll ensure that not a single entity or merchant is onboarded who is not supposed to be onboarded for any institution. Right now, what is happening, it is the onboarding partner is there, they get finite requirement from the bank in terms of BRD and then a fancy FSD and so on and so forth, but are they owning the outcome? We are owning the outcome here. Means we are ensuring that our solution is properly equipped with all subscription to multiple sanction list, blacklist, and we'll ensure that our activity, the due diligence of the merchants is completely automated through RPA, robotic process automation, which is nothing but a very sophisticated AI ML driven solution, because traditional rule writing and all those screening and business rule engine, it breaks at a certain level, at scale, at complexity, at when something for the first time new sort of fraud pattern emerge, then it breaks, right? So AI ML is the technology benefit we have, which have all those supervised, unsupervised model, and which creates insight, which actually ensure that we are actually ready to mitigate a sort of a risk which is coming for the very first time in the industry. A lot of things have happened in past. I'm not going to the history, but there are a lot of fraud patterns emerge, which is for the first time or first kind in the industry. So we ensure that we are owning outcome of every bit of the operation, be it onboarding, be it OLTP, be it processing, be it fulfillment, be it recon, be it settlement, clearing, and so on and so forth, right? So we are completely outcome-focused organizations. We do carry your target as our target, and we ensure that the whole sanity and sanctity is maintained at every point of time. In this our business right now, there are a lot of legacy systems are there, right? We have these banking spaces, not new. In India, it's been for many decades, and for multiple operational reasons, there is a human tendency to stick to that solution, and there is a bit of inertia creeps in, right? So we are here to ensure that our transformation, the digital transformation which we will carry out on behalf of you, is as smooth as it sounds, right? So we ensure that also. So that means zero disruption, and there will be no sort of overhead which you have to own, which Rugr will do on behalf of you, and we will definitely be accountable, will be held accountable when it comes to business outcome. So that is one of the very significant outliers from the rest of the fintech. Our legality, our indemnification, our liability also framed accordingly, so that we own your outcome. We are a very agile organization in terms of offering to the end customer. We are not limiting ourselves only to the traditional license, AMC sort of stuff. We are into multiple modality. We can give subscription, we can give services. I'll cover in a while very quickly. Just for the benefit of time, I'm scooping all these things little briefly, and I'll straight come to the very few select flagship offering and how does it operate. we are, so when it comes to the merchant acquiring business, because this has been one of our key focus of late, post January NPCI approval on the UPI acquiring and the hence merchant acquiring, I think that was long overdue for the cooperative banks. Finally, it has come. And we are in a mission right now to elevate every single cooperative bank in the country is as good as a merchant acquirer player, likes of SBIs and Axis and so-called traditional player who are doing this business at a scale. So we have a mission. We are already working towards that. Multiple cooperative banks actually are strategically partner with us, where we not only set up the UPI acquiring system for them, but we deepen their merchant presence, we deepen their merchant acquiring business, and as you all know, whole growth of that will be purely organic, right? So that is something we are doing, one of the key focus for us. Everything we do at Rugr on the technology and the solution stand, it is completely AI ML driven. We do not rely much on the conventional sort of code writing because it has its own limitations, and we ensure that our technology is ahead of the curve. It is fully automated in terms of analytics and the extensive RPA we have embedded in every single use case we solve at Rugr. I'll very quickly cover in the subsequent slides. And one of the key areas before I move on is that one of the key core areas focus has been regulatory compliance. At Rugr, we value our association with all the NPCI and RBI senior officers, ex-senior officers who are actually sitting in our board as an advisor, and we do value that at most. We ensure that we are following the footprint and we are staying ahead of the curve. The regulatory compliance, the whole EFRM, enterprise fraud and risk management, has been one of the focal theme for us, right? I'll quickly cover so this is the very largely the multiple programs we carry out, multiple use cases for the co-ops and the large banks. I'll start with the UPI merchant acquiring flow. It's a bit, don't get intimidated by the whole flow and all, I'll just quickly summarize. It's happening already as we speak in India. I will just quickly touch upon the points, the differentiators, the uniqueness of Rugr, what we are planning to do. So here, as I said some time back, each portion, so Rugr is going to be the program manager, the reseller on behalf of the bank. The whole base of merchant, Rugr will source for the bank. Bank might be having their own switching system, UPI switching system as on that. We can fall back to that in case bank doesn't take the Rugr switch at the beginning, but it has multiple phases. And then each aspect of it, the merchant onboarding, the transaction processing, the settlement, clearing, everything is owned, outcome driven by Rugr. And as you see, the non-operative current account, that is the area of CASA and hence float for you. And that is where the business lies. Mostly it is T+1 as of now, but it depends. It varies from model to model, payment mode to mode. But that is where the CASA lies, and that is where the whole proposition is fulcrumed at, right? And we help cooperative banks to reach that at a significant scale. If I just to throw some numbers, we are doing an average of 250 crore of CASA every month, and that is resulting to organic profit growth of almost 100 crore for the bank, right? So this is one of the flagship offering. Rugr is operating at multiple scale with multiple institutions, some of the large scheduled cooperative banks, scheduled commercial banks as well. This is a payout, and in this case flow, we have a escrow, third party, agreed with us, who monitors the whole payout, because once the fund is there in the current account, it has to be disbursed to the merchant or the beneficiaries multiply different held accounts, right? And that is a software, the solution and service we offer for that. And you can see this trustee is responsible for auditing and clearing all transactions on behalf of the bank, and it is a very, very closely audited space, and we can do that. But interestingly, since bank is having the banking license and entitlement, bank very much can play the role of trustee also. So you have a model 2 where bank plays the role of trustee and the rest of the things remain same. And in either case, we handhold the bank, we consult, we give our advocacy so that we are doing it in a compliant manner at all time. This is the payment aggregator model, and this model is more of again a form of convenience, because the first one which I showed, it is bank is working as a payment aggregator, that is called BAPA, bank as payment aggregator. But we understand when we have to do something, we do it in stages, multiple stages. So that may be a good starting point, because this is something more prevailing than the BAPA in this segment. However, the interesting part, if I go back on this slide, if you see the whole proposition here, the bank is doing everything. Bank is a payment aggregator, they're just only leveraging the banking license. Nothing else you have to do. And that opens the door, both in growth, purely organic in nature. So technically speaking, there is no need for third-party PA as such. But there might be some inertia, as I said in the beginning of my talk, that there are some things of doing things continuing the way it is. In that case, we may start with this PA model, and then we can transition to the BAPA one as well, right? This is the last one I want to talk about. This is the connected banking, which is nothing but the API banking, which opens the door to your merchants, the flavor of full-fledged universal banking experience. Means the moment we have this, it's called Rugr Uran. So Rugr Uran is a program name which enables the merchant to enjoy all of your universal banking offerings. Like you can start disbursing loans to them, you can have your insurance, upsell and cross-sells. So multiple products across domains can be cross-sold and upsold with this model, right? So this is a very, very merchant-focused, intensive support and solution services we have curated especially for this segment of the banks. Okay, just on a closing thought, I would probably take maybe another 30 seconds just to close. We have a very, one of the few sort of testimonials how we are doing it and what are the numbers are panning out. We are having least dispute ratio in the country as of now. Our dispute ratio is 0.002%. And because of this, why I am singling out this particular parameter for you, because of this, the operational sort of investment and the bandwidth from the bank side is least, right? Our software and services are gauged in a way that you need not much boil the ocean when it comes to ODR and reconciliation and so on and so forth, right? This is one of the very few numbers which we have many, but I know this because most of the bankers are more worried that how my banking operation will go every day on a day-to-day basis. I think I'm running out of time, but nevertheless, we have a stall out there. Please feel free to stop by, and we are more than happy to take you through the nuance and the panache of this offering, what we have here. We believe that we are solving these problems, these unique problems at scale, and we would like to give you that feeling to you. You have it? Okay, I'll just put this AV, which I wanted to put in the beginning. It's just a 2 minutes audio visual. Ritik is our official brand ambassador. We have that on the screen. So, you need.
तुम कह रहे हो कि हमारे बैंकिंग और फाइनेंस के कामों के लिए अब शहर जाने की कोई जरूरत नहीं, सारे काम पीपल के पेड़ से हो जाएंगे।
हाँ, पर इस पीपल के पेड़ से नहीं, रुगर के पीपल के पेड़ से।
राजू को चाहिए एक पेमेंट गेटवे, मोहन के अकाउंट्स का झंझट है हर डे, सुशीला को स्कूल की फीस जमानी, किशोर के खेती की इनकम भी फ्रीज हो जाए। यूपीआई ग्राम से हुआ सब इजी, बिजनेस में अब है तेजी, पेमेंट्स का नया ये देश, बैंकिंग है सिंपल और ट्रांजैक्शन तेज।
क्यों सरपंच जी, हो गए ना अमेज?
रुगर उड़ान, आसानी की जुबान, एक नया प्लेटफॉर्म, एक नई शान, सिक्योर ट्रांजैक्शंस का पूरा विश्वास, यूनिफाइड डैशबोर्ड सर्विसेज वर्ल्ड क्लास, एनाकास।
क्यों सरपंच जी, हो गए ना इसमें भी पास।
नियोग्राम से दूर हुआ ट्रैफिक का जाम, शहर वाले बैंक्स का काम तमाम, बिल्स और ट्रांसफर्स भी अब टेंशन फ्री, तो टेंशन को तुम जाओ दूर।
क्यों सरपंच जी, हो गया ना कोऑपरेटिव बैंक्स भी डिजिटल और कूल।
एग्रीग्राम में गवर्नमेंट स्कीम्स पे होगा पूरा ध्यान, कोऑपरेटिव बैंक से मिलेगा सही ज्ञान, जब मिलेगा किसानों को फसल का सही दाम।
क्यों सरपंच जी, अब लेगा ना हर किसान रूगर का नाम। होंगे सबके सर ऊंचे, बढ़ेगा देश का मान, खिल उठेंगे चेहरे जब हर ग्राम भरेगा रूगर उड़ा। रूगर, रूरल इंडिया के फाइनेंशियल और बैंकिंग प्रॉब्लम्स का मॉडर्न सॉल्यूशन।
Thanks, Gaurav, for making that happen. In a nutshell, we are revolutionizing the way India pays, banks, invest, and grow. So, we are welcome to join us, and I look forward to welcoming you in our booth. Thank you so much.